this evening's live, I want to talk about a few things that I think are very important that we are definitely going to go over in this live. First, this is literally to me the most important moment for XRP since 2018. And it's crazy to think that, and it's been over 6.5 years since we were at this point in January of 2018. But this is literally going to bring us a lot of solace or a lot of grief. XRP right now is on attempt 3 to break over, and this is in the short-term trend back up. We're on the third attempt to try to break through that 60.03 cents, or just put it at 60 cents. But we're trying to push over that 60 cents, which is a 6.5-year downtrending resistance that started in January of 2018. I apologize. I got to get my hat. This sun is in my eyes. And I have keratoconus, so I can't even see out of my left eye. And I have a big scar on my left eye because there's a thinning of the cornea. So that burns really bad. So I apologize and how unprofessional. But please make sure to hit that like button. I'll be back in less than 15-20 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. But there's no way I could have got through this whole live with that sun burning a hole through my eye. Oh my goodness. So let's continue. So XRP, third attempt here that we're facing to try to break this downtrending resistance that goes all the way back to 2018. And this is the third attempt up here. We did get just over 60 cents, and as you see, we're on the bottom side. That does not mean that we just got a wholesale rejection. It just means we're consolidating, and we'll see what ends up happening here and how much more pressure we can get. Bitcoin being over 68,000 and continuing this push towards what we perceive should be somewhere around 73K, because we have a strong liquidity zone for leverage liquidity with short traders. If it hits 73K, there's like $6.5+ billion that'll be liquidated. That is a massive amount of money, and it's probably even bigger now. That was as of a couple weeks ago. Just imagine how strong it's gotten the farther Bitcoin went down and the more people that were going short. So that's something that I've kept my eye on for a very long time. And then we'll take a look at XRP and what I think it's trying to build towards. And I don't think 60 cents is the ultimate goal here. I think even in the short term, if we're going to get this rejection, it looks like to me it's trying to build out a cup. Now, it could fall short if we did get rejected here at 60, but I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking and exactly where, if you haven't taken a position yet, if you speak from a leverage position, we're going to take a look at that. But then also from a spot point of view, it's very, very hard to be watching right now if you're from the sidelines. But I'm going to try to find an area where I think a spot buy could be beneficial. And remember, it's still well under a dollar. You're still 40% under a dollar. So it's not like we're going 1-to-1. But it's a significant amount higher than anywhere where I bought. One of my purchases was around 34.5, and the other one was just over 38 cents on this recent pullback. So it's interesting here at 50. Actually, you know what? I bought a little bit more the other day, though. I take that back. Everybody was in the audience. It was at like 57.06 cents, and I have on BITUNIX, I had $2,000 in free cash, and I put that into it. I completely forgot about that on the live. So there, I also have that, but that's not a permanent bag. That's just a swing trade bag, and right now it is up a little bit. But I forgot about that, so there is that as well. So I don't restrict buying, but the one that I hold long term that sits like in the wallet, you know, there's certain levels that I bought, and there's certain reasons why I do what I do. But I'm not afraid to swing trade and, you know, leverage trade if I have to, and yada yada yada. So make sure to hit that like button. I'll turn the comments on in a minute. I'm going to try to not turn them on in the very beginning in hopes that, like what happened yesterday, and the comments won't get shadow banned and I won't be able to see them unless I go on my phone. That's very difficult. So I'm going to wait until after the intro to turn the comments on and let everything sort itself out. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this update, or I mean this live. It'll allow new viewers and old viewers alike to find their way to this live, simply because they'll be able to see it in the news feed. So if you come onto YouTube, you're scrolling through, even if you're not looking for my content, it pops up, you're more likely to click on it than if you don't see it. So make sure to hit that like button, and I will catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening. 6:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, July 21st, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I thank everybody for the comments, and once I see it pop back up, I'll start where it's at. I apologize if I missed you, but I want to go progressively forward and not backwards, and I don't really want to take out my phone right now, so I want to get through this because we do have a lot to talk about, but that is cheap. So let me get my phone out and let me just see what everybody has to say. You took the time to make a comment, so how rude would that be of me to not even take a look? So never mind. I am not going to act like I'm bigger than going through the comments, because I'm not. Nanastad, welcome in and good morning to you. Wow, that's a record. Hopefully everybody's still with me. Nanastad, welcome in and good morning. Syrian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And Ahmad. Messi, welcome in. UK Phil, welcome. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6 months plus with the XP Predictor. Wales, Josie Wales, Bob Bertner, and Vado Damas, welcome in. Thank you, all three of you, for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. Messi, welcome in. JW, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1+ year with the I Told You So badge. Lawn Bear, Bill, good evening. Humanoid, welcome in. I am doing great. You say you're watching from the United Arab of Emirates. Excellent. I always wanted to visit there. I'm just not sure how welcome Americans are, although I don't quite look American, so I think I could fit in a lot because I am Lebanese and Italian. And definitely the more my hair grows, especially if I grew my beard out, I think it would be pretty interesting. John Hall, good evening and welcome in. You are welcome. I am having a blessed evening, blessed weekend so far. Chris Miles, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. As sure as the chair I'm sitting at and the screen in front of you, that is my face superimposed on there. I love that you put the UFO on there. What a great touch. Trading with J-Ride, thank you for not only being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge, for the $10 donation. Wow, starting it out hot today. He says hit that like button. I concur. Big Stank, welcome in. Straight Six, good evening. Spiritual gang related. Very rude indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, so deedly rudely, right? Bill Free, welcome in. Shane, good evening and welcome in from, well, good morning to you. And welcome in from Melbourne, Australia. Excellent. Alex, can we have the sun? We sure can. And oh man, is it shining bright on us. Oh, you mean the sun in real terms? Oh, you never know. Sunny days could find its way in here at some point. Donald Choop, good evening. Jay Orlando, welcome in. Dennis Daly, 12 here in Ireland. I always watch, having my bedtime split. I appreciate that. I apologize that it's a little bit later here this evening because I got on just a couple minutes late. But I appreciate the due diligence and dedication, my friend. Spiritual gang related said you're hot at the gyro. You're a hit at the gyro shop. Hey, or I appreciate that. Or the gyro shop, I think you're saying. Hey, I appreciate being a hit anywhere. I promise you that. I'm just a really increasingly older man, as now I've hit that awkward middle-age stage, I would say. I'm veteran young guy now. Yep, veteran young guy. Or middle-aged veteran now. Big CJ, welcome in. Gordon Zerbs, welcome. Alex H. Sunny days indeed. MC Prosperity, welcome in. Man, that's an old name. Been here for a long time. The UAE has the most beautiful souls in our realm. I agree. That's why I always wanted to go. Something different. Something different around those parts. So with XRP right now, the reason why I believe XRP is in its most pivotal point or most important moment since 2018, it's simple. To me, it's simple. To some of you, it might not seem so obvious or so simplistic, but to me, this is, remember, In the recent push, this is the third time we've been up in this range. It's not the third time that we've tried to push through here in the recent movement. Remember, just a couple days ago on July 17th, 1, 2 rejections, 17th and 18th, came back through for all this consolidation. Looks like this inverse head and shoulders is built beautifully. 1 rejection, 2 rejection. If it got a rejection here and pulled down, it would essentially pull and it would drop the hammer on us. It would end up turning into this unorthodox M-topping reversal, and then it would probably come all the way back down here, and then we'd be running out of time here because we're getting closer and closer to December of this year where this pattern has to end one way or the other. So that would be this would be a brutal rejection here. It already was the start, but that wasn't the end of it. Now we have our chance at consolidation, which we've had, and now we have our chance to push through. And ultimately, if we could get through here and finally, for the first time in 6.5 years, retake this downtrending resistance, we could actually make a name for XRP in this recent term. The only name XRP has right now is it's an underachiever in most eyes, and the most manipulated token in crypto, which, how do you argue it at this point? Resistance, down to support, creates this inverse. Now it's got to bounce out of here, and if it does, and we can finally break over this, we start to look at a much bigger picture here now. And I understand this is a 6.5 year pattern, but we start to look at this in the realest of terms we can. We've got this 63.35. The reason why this is so important, we've speculated a couple days ago here in the live, and if you're new, you wouldn't know this. But we've speculated that the biggest issue, or what we think could happen, is we're creating a cup here. And if we finish off the cup and get up to that resistance there, and we speculated somewhere around 63.3 cents, let's see it in the recent times, 63 cents, let's just call it, that the technical target on a breakup would bring you somewhere over 70 cents. So that's what would happen if we could fulfill this pattern and push through this. Now let's assume we got to 70 cents. Well, that would achieve a big breakthrough through some really big resistance. Probably the biggest resistance we've had outside of the downtrending resistance from 2018 that we've gotten rejected on 4 or 5 times now. This is the cup and handle. This is also the falling channel resistance. In order to get back into the rising channel and start to push back up, we're still not out of the woods yet. But this could open the door up to a big rally, which is what I think it's, as I said, the odds I think are increasing of a push to 70, but that wouldn't be the end of it. That would just be the beginning of a blissful move to 86. But I think we're trying to open up the door here. So let's bring this into a smaller time frame. We're trying to open up the door here. First door to open right now. Just think of it as you're walking through the doors. You've got many doors to get to your ultimate prize. It's kind of like, depending on how old you are, it's like in Minecraft. You're building a bunch of doors, and you know, you never know which door is going to bring you to which monster, and yada, yada, yada. Or, if you're old like me, too, if you go back to Nintendo days and Mario, you never know which castle that damn princess is going to be in, and why she can't quit getting caught by these same pieces of you-know-what. So, it starts to lead you to the conclusion as a kid that there's something not right here, and Princess might be telling lies to old Mario and Luigi, if you know what I mean. So she might be into the, you know, the more dangerous side of town. So what I mean is we've got to get through some doors here to get to our ultimate prize. So you go through a bunch of castles in the game and you never get the ultimate prize until the very end, and then it seemingly you still don't get shit, because then you got to come back in the second one and do it all over again in a harder fashion. So, oh man, Zelda, don't get me started either. That's a game that all these years later, and I played that game so much and ended up playing the whole beautiful, blissful game. Do you know how long it took me to get through that whole game? And we didn't have the save features like we did now. Although, you know, starting to watch some things, it appears that some games had the save feature. I'm glad I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't know on the Nintendo, because that's what gave us the repetition, because we had to do it over and over and over. Then you started to remember things, because it's like being mind control. You have to do the same thing over and over and over. I spent many of days and many of soul-crushing defeats in that game. Whew. Oh, I love it and hate it. I still love it and hate it to this day, which You know. Anyhow, let's get past the barriers. Ready? So let me pull the arrow out, and man, do I love this community. And did I not welcome back the old members? So I'd like to welcome in the new members and the old members that have found their way into here this evening. The old members have truly defined what you see in front of you. This beautiful comments, the beautiful community that you see before you, and just the kind of dialogue we can have back and forth, even though we do a crypto show. It's very personable. We're positivity over negativity here, and we believe in helping people and not hurting people. So with that, we have the winning mindset. We're not losers. We don't play the victim. We're winners. And to the new members, you can continue to push this message that we have created already, and you can help us see things we might not have seen so far. So each of the two groups truly help define who we are. And I want to make sure to create that message each and every time I come on here live, especially, because I think it's very important to make that point. And I also would like to thank the members of Tom's Army and anybody who has sent a YouTube super chat today, in the past, or who will in the future, or future members of Tom's Army, or even old members of Tom's Army. It's because of you during the live. There is no ads. You'll notice the last few days there's no ads when you're watching the live if you're here in real time. I have turned the ads off. I will eat the ad revenue during the lives while we're in real time. And that's dedicated to the members of Tom's Army and anybody who's ever sent a YouTube super chat or anybody who's ever been in Tom's Army. I will turn the live ads on for this live after the live ends. So when it's in rerun, there'll be ads. So it'll give you an incentive to come here and watch the live, ask questions, get involved, and make yourself known. So on behalf of myself and everybody else, I thank the members of Tom's Army. Thank you for blessing us and sponsoring this live so we don't have to play ads. And I don't do any paid promotions or anything like that, so we promote within. It's just that simple. So the first line of resistance that we really have to break through is right here. And if you look at this, on the onset, you're like, well, this doesn't really look like much. It's an uptrending resistance. Okay, well, Tom, what's so important about it? Well, the big importance is this is the rising channel resistance, folks. If we don't pass the rising channel resistance, it's going to be a long fall back down to 42 cents and maybe worse. That's the unfortunate problem. Now, we do have a miracle hold. We could get stopped here in the stop gap at 56.4. So it's not all over if we break down, but it's not going to look pretty. So first off, we want to get through here, use this recent momentum, and let's up. Whoops. I'm getting too excited. I think this is more appropriate. Definitely more appropriate. I knew it didn't feel right. At least it didn't to me. So let's move this. Actually, it might be pretty similar. 55.93, that's better. Somewhere around there. So we've got that support underneath. So just remember that. Right now the resistance is 60.33. And then if you bring it over the top is 65.46. So this first resistance is that rising channel resistance. Got to get over it. Got to get over it. Otherwise, this is bearish. It's just bearish. If you don't get over this, it's not just that isn't it funny how this forms? It's not just the rising channel resistance. Look how this meets the 6.5-year downtrending resistance. This would be catastrophic if we don't break through this and hold it. That's why I am going to continue to say I am very optimistic. I have bags of XRP. More than I did in 21. And there's still a reason to see catastrophe here if we can't break this 6.5-year resistance. And now on top of that, you can also see it's the rising channel. And if you haven't seen my charts before, this is the rising channel that I speak of so fondly. Then we have the falling channel. Now in the falling channel, we also have the start of that cup and handle. Which the cup and handle, we already took that support at 42 cents and we're all good. So we're good there. We're back inside the cup and handle. You get back over on the handle side, 65.4 cents. You've broken through the cup and handle. And that opens the door up to 86 cents. I don't know how else to say it. If we get past 65.4, I'm not gonna light a cigar because I don't smoke cigars or cigarettes. But we'll definitely smoke some relaxation, or we'll definitely probably take a shot if we get over 65.4. There's no doubt about that. That's a milestone marker if we could break that. That would be this cup and handle that we have not been able to break since we started it all the way back in July of 23. And it would finally allow us to try to retest that 93-cent mark for the first time since that fateful or beautiful day, depending on how you look at it, back last July when Judge Annalisa Torres said XRP wasn't a security. So, yeah. So, I mean, we're at a very pivotal moment. So, I'll stand by what I said. This is the most important moment for XRP since 2018. Does that make sense to everybody who's in attendance? I refuse to look to see how many people are watching right now because I don't want to get my hopes up or get too high on myself if I have a lot of viewers. Chris Miles, thank you not only for being in Tom's Army for your first month here with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, but also sending a $5 donation. That's incredibly generous. That's incredibly generous. Like, this audience holds no bounds. It holds no bounds. I was doing a terrible job about, well, I can be honest. I felt like I was doing a terrible job. And not because the information wasn't good. I just felt like my demeanor wasn't good. And that was about 2 months ago. And yes, there was a lot of things going on with my son and stuff, but I felt like I was allowing it to affect what we were doing. The last 4 weeks, especially the last 3, I'm feeling really well. I feel really good about what we've been doing, especially these last couple days. There's just something different about the tone. And right now, this inverse head and shoulders is playing out appropriately. We had the consolidation. We never broke this support. So that support held. That inverse head and shoulders held the back test here, believe it or not. So now we have the opportunity. Good?
They're in the fridge.
Ooh, you did it? Your no-bake cookies? Ooh. I'm looking forward to it, Julie. And tea still up?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to do a feeding.
Okay. I love you. So if we get past this 60.3, we've got this inverse head and shoulders intact. And that would be clear of the 6.5-year resistance. Now, something that I do notice here, and don't get mad at me, but at the end of this close, I expect, if we're going to push past 60 cents here, and I'm going to be honest, what I expect to happen, I know, Alan, I am being spoiled. Julie told me she was thinking about it right when the live was starting. And if they're no-bake cookies, I think they're oatmeal and like milk chocolate chip. So I'm very excited to see how this turns out. So what we're looking at here is, look at this. See this little setup? If we come into the close, if we close, looks like we completed this little cup here. Not a big one, but a little one. I suspect that we could do something like this in a chop down fashion. And then I think if we do something like that, we could set up a fantastic leverage trade. So I'm looking at inverse left shoulder, inverse head, the formation of the true inverse right shoulder here on the short term. So what does that mean? We're going to have to come back into this range. So ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So if you're not in yet, please look in the video description below and or pinned comments, depending on exchange. Video description. No, there is no pinned comment. Video description below. Get it right on the exchange right now. In case this plays out and this is in fact the inverse head and shoulders in the short time that brings us to the short-term promised land, get it right on the exchanges. Video description below. You've got it right in front of you. Just take a look. Don't be lazy on this one. There's BITUNIX and or HOTCOIN. Both of them legitimate choices. Low spot and leverage trading fees. BITUNIX is the lowest in the USA. HOTCOIN is practically the same. No KYC needed unless you send for a bank account or receive from one. They're both available USA or worldwide. And you don't need to do a VPN as well. And I'm telling you, there's so many different cryptos. HOTCOIN has IOTA, the XRP Bitcoin pairing. It also has IOTX and many others, Casper and so on and so forth. BITUNIX has many others, including XRP and so many more. And just get it right on the exchanges now. Get the money set up. If you're interested in copy trading me, you can do that through HOTCOIN. Right now, we're somewhere around 59% up. Right around 59, just on the cusp of 60% up in our copy trading. It varies every day. We've been as low as -7%. We've been as high as 63.1%. So we're basically at all-time highs as far as the copy trading percentages go. And we had a $100 challenge for anybody who's new. Simply started with $100, and right now we're up to $159 and some change. just off of 160. So that means if you started with 100, you'd be just shy of 160 in your account right now if you've been following me verbatim. So we'll try to continue the momentum, but there is no guarantee. So I'm not a financial advisor. So if you follow me, expect to lose. Some will say, well, Tom, you always say that, but the percentages keep going up. We're lucky right now. We're building our own luck. It's that simple. So anyhow, just keep them all open. I never know what I'm going to copy trade. Usually XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I've went anywhere between Filecoin, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think HBAR's on there that we copy traded. Casper, we've copy traded. Filecoin, I can't remember if I said it, but we copy traded. So I hold no bounds. It's what we've also copy traded. OMG, I believe, one time. So it just depends if I see something that pops out. So this is what I'm saying. Get it right on the exchange, because if this inverse head and shoulders plays out to like something like this, I will open a position at 58.7 and I will rebuy in what I had, that $2,000 worth, if it gives me the chance down here. I had a play to come up here. I took it. And now if it gets on top of here, I'll buy it back for the run to 63. Or if it gives me a chance right here. So right now, the bottom line is, it looks bearish here to end the day. We've got a gravestone doji unless it turns around pretty quickly. I anticipate a inverse right shoulder to be created, and I try to play into the future. I'm not trying to be crafty. I'm not trying to be tricky, and I'm not trying to manipulate you into following me for some stupid reason. If for any other reason I'm trying to project something that hasn't happened yet, and if it does, I'm going to try to take advantage of this next move. The ETF is supposed to come out on the 23rd for Ethereum. I don't believe anything till I see it, but that's the speculation. And if the exchange traded fund is online, much like Bitcoin, remember how we had the quick colossal dump? We've already been through that for Ethereum now, and crypto before we made this recent round up. So we'll see. It could bring in massive amounts of liquidity to crypto. And if it played out right and Ethereum played out, it could hit 5,000 by the end of the year. But that would be in the right scenario if it actually plays out like Bitcoin did in its own way. But I think this could build. And I know some would say, well, Tom, couldn't you say this is the inverse? No, it can't be, because this is all the head. Let me get this back. This is all the head down here. So if you're sticking around for this live, this is how you find the most information. This is where you find the most information. Even if you watch me during the updates, you're not going to find all this information. I can't talk for an hour in the updates. I got to fit all this into a 20-minute segment, and some people think it's way too long. What happened to Tom and Bob? He pops up every now and then. But I definitely, you know what I've realized over the recent past, and let's not get down during this downturn here in the short term. I'm going to deflect your attention. If you're new, some of you might leave, or some of you might stay for the pure joy. But when we get down, and some are because XRP's been down for so long, we've been doing this all the way back since 2021. So some of you know what time it is. And if you're feeling down, just remember, XRP will have its moment. XRP's building towards that old grand time. And I feel it fitting today of all days to make sure we bring some joy into everybody's day. So ladies and gentlemen, this might be the first time you've ever heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days, oh happy days, oh what a day, oh happy days, oh what a day. XRP will reign supreme, let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash, and we did, and we will, and we have, and we won't, and we will, and we just don't know anymore. Oh yeah, stay true. Stay blessed. Man, he's really in tune today. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And now that we got through the oldies but a goodie, I have one more thing to share. One more thing to share, and I wish he was in here, but I unfortunately I couldn't pay attention while I was singing. But UB2B, if you're out here in the universe somewhere, or if you're in here with us right now, he shared another beautiful, beautiful meme, and he's our meme genius. So if you're new, wait a minute, where did he share? Here it is. If you're new, back in 21, UB2B's with us, and he's got the 3-year XRP Diamond Hands badge as well. In Tom's Army for over 3 years. He creates memes, and he's back in town. He sent me one yesterday, and beautifully enough, he sent me another one today. So make sure you thank UB2B. Go to his X page, UB2B. You can see it here, so you find the right page. He has, let's see right now, I want to give him his proper due, 111 or 106 followers right now. So make sure you follow him. He's verified on X, and he put in getting rejected. I love these so much, it makes my day. Bro, why are you screaming? Because I'm excited, Kyle. I'm excited. I'm excited. Don't be such a Karen, friend. Be excited. Be excited like I am. Sometimes you got to be a little loud. The realest reason why I'm loud is my parents. I'm Lebanese and Italian, and they wouldn't shut up. And they were divorced, and they wouldn't stop screaming, and they still haven't all these years later, and I'm 40. So if you want the real reason, that's why. Getting rejected, join Tom's Army, UB2B. What a beautiful, beautiful way to go about. Thank you, UB2B. It's excitement, Kyle. It's excitement. It's excitement. There's many reasons why I'm loud. Some would say I'm obnoxious. I can't disagree. Gold right now is up $9.78 on this opening to the futures closing out, and now the thinly traded weekend being back open on the futures market. So XRP, and remember what I said before sunny days. I'm going to distract you as it was going to go down here because I believe this is what needs to happen real quick. Remember what we just talked about before sunny days? If this plays out properly, we should create this inverse right arm here. That is what we should do. So remember, you've got to try to project this. That's all I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to project this, and I'm not perfect. Lord knows I'm not perfect. But I'm trying to do what I got to do here. You know, I try to do this. Hey, UB2B is in the house. Beautiful. Sporting that XRP 589 moon badge for anybody who aspires to get there, who's in the anywhere from 1 month to 3 to 6 to 1 year, 2 year badge. The 3 year is the most exclusive badge we have now. One day we'll have the 4-year badge, but not for another year. So I really appreciate that, UB2B. Gianna, yes, sunny days. So anybody who was able to see sunny days, it's truly a privilege to be able to sing that. I'll take a look to see how many people are here. My ego's good. Oh, I thought there was going to be like not a lot because I did sunny days. But it's growing on people since 21. I know that. I used to get the biggest. People used to get so mad when I would sing it at first. It was so funny. And then it grew on people. It started growing on people, especially because I used to sing it when XRP would deep dive down below 40 and 50 again. And it was in the pits of hell back then. And guess what? We're right back there. What am I talking about? We're right back where we were. So it's very fitting. But what happened then? One glorious boom. We're able to make almost 400%. Rinse, repeat. And now we're back at it again. Right back in a better position this time. I have about 13 cent per share average or token cheaper than when I let it go the first time. So anyhow, that's what we're looking at. An inverse right shoulder to create. That's what I'm personally looking for. And I think that that's what we need to hold. Right now we're proving that we don't have enough support right now to push through. And this V-shaped recovery is built. And now we just need to build the right arm. It doesn't need to come to where I put it, mind you. Just somewhere down there. And then what I would say is if we do this, your stop loss cannot be anything less than 57.2. So let's say it comes here to 58.8. Oof. Whew. I hate those. That's 2.7%. I really don't like to have that big of a stop loss. I'll be honest. I don't like that. Yeah, I like to have them when they're somewhere below because I'm doing a 10x trade. I like to make sure. Now, the spot trade's going to be bought there no matter what. I'm going to have to find a opportunistic moment there if I'm going to do a leverage trade to see, because I need to know where the floor is at, and I need to know where the breakthrough target's going to be to see if it's a buildable event, because my suspicion says if it breaks down there, and it breaks through, it's not going to be a buildable event. What I mean by that is it's going to come too far to where you could just build in a 10x position. Now all of a sudden we're down here at 59.59. So I'm just trying to show you, even in real time, how you can predict what's happening, and technical analysis is not pointless. The number one thing people tell me, technical analysis is pointless, boss. Yes, thank you, student. Although I am a student in many ways myself. But, you know, don't be lazy. You know, at least learn the technicals, and then you can, you know, you can make an educated and informed decision. But if you don't know the technicals, you're just guessing. Please, XRP, go up. Save my ears. Well, if XRP went up, it certainly would make me shut up for a minute, right? Armand, welcome in from Holland again. Continuing to tune in. At least I'm not bothering his ears. At least in Holland, I'm not burning his ears off. You know, John, I am. But this fine gentleman from Holland, maybe he can't understand me because he's from Holland, so I can't burn his ears off like John. Right, John? But anyhow, positivity will keep you going through. Bitcoin up 938 points, up 1.4%. Thank you, Armand. I appreciate that. Up 68,078. Up 938 points, up 1.4%. Bitcoin still makes me feel like it's going to come up. First level is that 69,688, but it makes me feel like it still wants to come up to that. I know you do, Armand. I was just making a joke, and I know I can see you understand completely. Makes it that much better that you're in on it. Beautiful. But 73K, and that's not even, this wouldn't even push us to 73 in this formation. But 73K is a big liquidity zone for short traders. There's a big zone there where Bitcoin can liquidate over $6.5 billion worth of short traders. They are sweating bullets right now. I'll tell you right now, if they had the balls of steel, they're the balls of peas right now. They've literally shriveled up. They literally had them the size of, well, I don't even want to go into the old grotesques, but they had that testicular fortitude going into the short. Now they've shrunk into the size of perpetual peas. And I mean that in every sense of the word. So, you know, now it's hard. It's very difficult to short when you're trying to have some upward momentum. You can definitely find the moments, but the craving for settlement is miserable. I mean, I don't know if it's miserable, but you could be living on a fairy tale. Only because I don't think they're waiting for a settlement. And if there is anything that could be perceived as a settlement, it's not going to come by some closed door meeting, I don't believe. So Thursday, or the 20, what is it, the 7th? No, the 25th that we're all waiting for now. That's just going to be the standard operating procedure, I believe. But Judge Ana Felisa Perez is going to be coming up with a figure here soon. You know, one way or the other. So that's where I think they could agree to some kind of terms that would be granted as a settlement, but it would be from the judge's point of view. I don't think it's going to come at the hands of Ripple and Ripple and the SEC agreeing. I don't believe there's any way on God's green earth, and you know, maybe it's not green, maybe it's just the way we perceive things. But I don't think that the Securities and Exchange Commission is going to settle with Ripple unless the judge puts a figure in front of Ripple that the SEC's like, you know, this is the best we're going to get here, and then Ripple just agrees to it. So I don't think it's going to come at the hands of, they're behind a closed door meeting. All of a sudden you get the shaking of the hands, and then we're like, oh my God, we got a settlement. It's over. XRP's just rising like a son of a... You know, I don't think that's going to be the case. And I don't think that's what we want either. I think we want it to come from the judge. I think we want it to be on the terms that Ripple agrees to, because there's going to be something that happens. And we go from there. And then we'll have the clarity, and we'll have the unprecedented win, and then the verification that the 23 ruling is unaffected. And that's what you're looking for. All you're looking for is the 2023 being unaffected, and exchanges and retail being unaffected as a security. So that's all you're looking for. And right now we're in that land. It is in some ways no man's land, because we don't know when the end's going to happen. But we're much better. John says you're better than my local FM station. Hey, I would say that that's such a big ego boost. Now, unfortunately, though, when I listen to the radio, it's all horrible. So it's like comparing me to nobody. No offense to the people on FM radio, but that's like comparing me to a grain of sand. I want to be compared to Wayne Gretzky. You know, no, I'm kidding. That's a big compliment. I could have always seen myself on the radio. I have the voice for it. Believe me. Believe me. I don't want to be a part of some bigger scam. I don't want to be promoting some bullshit just so that I can be on the air and all that other crap. I just want to do my show. So in a sense, this is like a live podcast is what it is. My updates are what they are, but these are like a daily 1 hour live podcast if you want to put it in terms. And one day, you know, if you couldn't see me, it would be just like Peter Schiff. You wouldn't know what I'm doing on my screen. You would just see me. So in a lot of ways, I think that's most of the time what a lot of people do. But fortunately, you can see him now. He shows himself, and it's fun times. But anyhow, so with XRP, I'm certainly watching to see if this can create that short-term inverse head and shoulders. We know we need to push through that 6.5-year downtrending resistance. That right now, it's the third time we've hit here in the not-so-distant moment, as recently as today, where we got rejected at that downtrending resistance. It's been formed for 6.5 years now. And this is the fourth time in the routine that we've come through and tried to break it, and we just haven't been able to. As of right now. It's not... Wait a minute, where did this go? It's not the end of the world, because we're still consolidating. But my theorizing right now, if it's going to hold... We're going to have to create something like this. We're going to have to create something like this is what I'm theorizing. Now, if it breaks through this, it's over. If it breaks through this and this inverse head is crushed, even though it's not even an inverse anything, I'm just showing you what could be. If this doesn't form like this, we'll get crushed. And it doesn't mean we have to reset and come all the way back down to... But it might mean that in the not-so-distant future, we could come back down there. But there are some stop gaps. It's not like, oh my God, Tom, now it's over again, like we just got to come right back down. No, not necessarily. 55.9 cents could stop us. That's why I call it the stopgap. It's good to have a stopgap. Without a stopgap, you're screwed. It's actually a little bit lower, and I think I'm very inaccurate right now because I don't think this is right. I feel like the number is off. So if we look at this, because I'm using it as that inverse head, so that means that has to be that tap of support. So that has to be one of the supports. So if we look at that, I think it's like that. If we're being honest with ourselves, that means though that if we break this support right, come on, click on this, right here, which is at about 57.4 cents, that means you're looking at a breakdown here to about 55.5 cents if we're looking at it honestly. Let's get another one of these price tags. I think these price tags are the biggest evolution I've made in a while, just so I don't have to say anything. And when you come on here, you're like, all right, where's these important levels he's talking? Oh, right there in front of us. Even this guy figured it out. That means there's hope for crypto YouTubers. Anyhow, 57.3 cents. If that inverse head and shoulders, that's not even an inverse head and shoulders until it is, doesn't form and it breaks 57.3, your underneath support, and I call it your biggest support on record right now, would be at 55.5 cents. If that breaks, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. If that breaks, we could be bringing back into 42.39. Oh yes. And there are some in between, like the old 50.5 cents, the old correction of wave 5 that could be brought back into play, I suppose, if this was just a big fake out to kick us in the nuts and take away our testicular fortitude that we have left in the strip of it. Then we could come back below 48.6 cents and initiate wave 5 correction. And that should bring us somewhere to about 36.2 cents. Likely. So that is possible still. So I know a lot of people are saying we're in the ABC correction, which we very well might be, but we better hope that this doesn't get invalidated and we bring in the wave 5 correction. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we started a fresh wave count. And if you look at it, if we finished the A wave, we would have went all the way from, and think about this, because the A wave would technically be the biggest wave, but it helps set the stone. It helps set the parameters for the C wave. So A wave's up, B wave corrective, C wave the final break. of the 3-wave. So if you do an ABC, but C would be a nice move because A was already a push from 37 or 38 cents up to about 63. That's a big move. You're talking about like a 60% A wave. That's huge. Now B wave correction. Right now, so far in the B wave correction, we went from, and I think that it's enough already now after the move to say that we're in the corrective wave, if that's what it is in the B wave. And that would be down to 54 right now. So that's a pretty big correction from 63. So right now you have a swing low of 38 roughly to a swing high of 63.5. And then if you talk about wave B, you've got a swing high right now at 63.8, swing low at 54.2. And then if this is getting back in, the only way to know if we're going to get back into a higher wave count and this isn't corrective is to break out. And then wave C should bring, or the C wave should bring us to no less than 70 cents. No less than 70 cents. And then you could start a fresh ABC correction if you want to. We could be talking trigonometry. I don't know why sometimes the Elliot waves or the ABC corrective waves come into my head. But they do because I'm very familiar with them. And when I see something setting up. So basically, what you could say is, and this is all speculation, conjecture, and that's all there is to do. And I don't know if I've ever even showed this in any kind of way. Let's see if I could find a way to show you this in the proper way. I don't like the way that they use them is the only problem. So basically, how about this? How about this? Ready? So basically, if you're looking at this as an ABC, so basically A would start down here, right? You'd come into here, then you would say your B corrective wave starts here. This would have come to here. And then if it's enough of the corrective wave, then you could say, well, now the C wave would start here, and then it would push us out. And then my theory is it would get you to about 70 at minimum. And it could be much higher, but that's what I would see happening. And then you could start a fresh corrective wave again. See if you hold that 65-cent back test, and we go from there. But that's what I'm looking to hopefully breaks out. If not, and this is invalidated, 42 cents very well could come into play here in a quick pace. And remember, if this is invalidated, that means 55.5 is already taken out of the equation. So, what is everybody... So, and obviously, to make it look more realistic, just so you don't think it's like that, just look at it in terms like this. It's still in process of doing this, right? So, start looking at this as some kind of recovery like this if it's going to happen. So, what does everybody think of that? Just honest opinion. Does that make sense to everybody? And we can see the uptrend lined up perfectly with the correction right there. So we'll see if it can play out like this. So remember, you're learning everything I've taught myself. So it's not going to be 100% what everybody else is saying. I've created my own way of looking at things. So if I'm looking at it in a correction wave or in an ABC wave, the ABC, like some people say, just look at it in the ABCs. That's how I would perceive it. That's how I would perceive it. So, and I think that'd be a great way to look at it. First part of this, if you want to say it's an A wave, you could say it went all the way from 38 cents roughly, all the way up to here. We had a, holy shit, 68% move on the correction back down, if you want to call it a B wave correction. And this is all speculation, conjecture, and lecture, and could be bullshit. Down 16.86%, because who knows? It's technicals, right? And then if you want to start talking about the up, if it's back to 70 cents, then you'd get the final wave, which would get you about another 30% over the top. So 28% on top of the 68 would have made it a total move of about 96%. So that's what I'm seeing here, and that's why I wanted to come live today. I'm trying to advance the way I do things so everybody can understand at a more minute level, and you can make a more educated and informed decision. XRP during this live, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, is doing what we talked about in the very beginning, and we started some 50 minutes ago. I've been talking and babbling for 50 minutes. There is no way that I've been talking 50 minutes. That's unbelievable. I really do have a gift for gab. I'll tell you what. I don't rehearse none of this. When I do my updates in the morning, I literally just rolled out of bed. I know you guys can see it in the morning update. But I do the update and you go through it with me. Like, I don't rehearse because I think what I do in real time is special. Oh, the Elliot wave. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Elliot wave, if we had to go to a wave 5 correction, we would invalidate all of this and you'd have to go down to 48.6 cents and fall below it. Then we could have that final corrective wave. But that to me seems all but invalidated. It seems invalidated, like that wave 5 was over. Oh yes, I was singing too, for sure. For sure. Oh, absolutely, it's a cup and handle pattern. And even if not this short term, you're absolutely right. Let me go to the other chart. I have many charts. This is our cup and handle chart. And that confers, and that confirms what I'm seeing here with the push to 70.9 cents here. With the depth of the cup, if we break through bullishly, it should get us to 70.9 cents, which confirms this as an ABC wave, or the ABCs, as I like to call it. We've got a very wise audience here. If you're looking for someone to bullshit you, you found the wrong spot. I'm not here for views. I'm here to just historical record. So every day, people can't just say, why don't you help? You don't know how many people told me in my personal life, oh, you think you're so smart by buying XRP when it was that cheap and making that money that quick? Why didn't you tell all of us? I did. Hello? Don't you remember what I told you at Easter, folks? Or at New Year's, folks? You're not you guys, but my family and friends. Even though I don't really have friends anymore, I think, you know, most people are users. But anyhow, that's another story. So I do this for historical data, and now I simply tell people, go back to my videos in March 28, 2021. That's the honest to God truth. I did this for historical data. I made a prediction on my first video that in one calendar year I would have 10,000 subscribers. In one calendar year from that video, I had 9,999 subscribers. I kid you not. So I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know why. So, you know, so now we look at this in the positive sense, and you notice this is all XRP in this live. I haven't bounced around, but I will for the last few minutes. So, right on, JW. I understand that clear as day. And Julie is a gem. She's actually doing the feeding for our son right now through the G-Tube. Robert says this is one of the few channels I follow that does proper technical analysis. Much respect. I appreciate that. Oh, I was getting hammered in the comments this morning. Oh, hammered in the comments by a few people, but I embrace it. I had much more people than just the few that were hammering me that were, you know, embracing. They sure are, Chris. They sure are. Ezreal, you're welcome. You are welcome, friend. So I hope that gives you a picture painted. Your sky is blue, water is wet, mentally is why I'm here. Excellent analogy, Lucky. I think that's also why I'm here, too. To be honest with you. I found a lot of people here that have a similar mindset. Hey, Cape Cod Kyle, and welcome in. He's been in Tom's Army for over 5 months now. But for some reason, it doesn't show it unless he comments on my updates. In the lives, a lot of times it won't show it. But he's Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts. Not Florida, like I once famously said, like an asshole. He is from, indeed, Massachusetts. Not that it made me feel like a jackass, but, you know, you never want to make the mistake twice. So far, so good. So far, so good. Nazar, welcome in. Robert says, do you see Bitcoin dropping below 55,000 after it completes this current setup that will take it back to 71K area? Nazar, I don't expect expectations. I don't have any expectations at all for a settlement. What I think the only way that Ripple settles any kind of terms is if Judge Annalisa Torres puts it down in writing, and it's not coming from the SEC, because this meeting that they're having on Thursday, I don't think it's anything more than they usually have. Dot the I's, cross the T's, see what kind of redactions they want publicly so that we can't see, yada, 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 make it look like a smokescreen, have some liquidity set up one way or the other, and punch us in the face after. I think the only way there's going to be any kind of settlement, it would just be an agreement, which would be considered a settlement, is if the judge has a figure that she says, Judge Annalisa Torres says these are the terms, This is your penalty, yada, yada, yada. And if you agree to this, it's over, and this is the facts. You know, and that's what I think is what we'd be looking at. Other than that, I don't think that we're just going to get a sit-down meeting with the SEC and Ripple and then come to agreement. But if we do, so be it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. He's been doing well the last few weeks. He spent the better part of about 15, 16 days in the hospital in June. End of May into June. The first day of June. But he's doing much, much better now. So we had a great resolution. It's very scary times, but a good resolution. So yeah. So that's where we sit right now. If you do appreciate what I do before I leave, make sure, and I'm not walking out just this minute, but I do have to go help Julie. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be ending this. Make sure that you, hit that subscribe button and join the over 22,300 subscribers now. And then if you do appreciate my work, consider sending a YouTube super chat once per month or become a new member in Tom's Army. I would love to see new members. Love to see new members. We're building up our member pool, but I would love to see members of Tom's Army get that month one membership badge or the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. My face is superimposed on there. All the way up to 3 years with the extra B Diamond Hands badge. Yes, poor Jules indeed. I can concur with that. But, you know, she's just as blessed as I am to be with me as I am with her. I'm a very unique character, and I'm very loyal. So, you know, and dedicated. If you think I'm dedicated to this show, you should just see how I am with the people that I love. You know, and I love each and every one of you, and that's why I'm here. And is dedicated. But just imagine how much love Julie gets. Man, oh man, your head might blow up. If you knew that kind of love actually existed, especially if you're a woman in the audience. Maybe some of my male audience members as well in this day and age. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't judge here. But the ladies in the audience might be jealous if they're not getting it. You know, so anyhow, I think kind, courteous, and treating people the way you want to be treated is the bottom line. So Casper, I still think Casper is a beautiful bet here. I'm betting on the fact it's going to 2475. I added more on the drop down. Just about 60,000 tokens now. It's up a little bit from where I bought. There's no doubt. Not a ton, but it's up a few percent. But I'm trying to ride it out to that 2475, and I've made no bones about it. I think it's severely undervalued, and it's got about a 10% move just to this resistance still. It's not up much, about 5% from when I bought it now at 214 area on this recent turn. I thought it was going to bounce out quicker. I really did. Well, not that I thought it was going to bounce out quicker, but I thought it was a nice setup, and I've been pushing it since it pulled this little setup. But we've been pushing it more than just now. But in the recent term, I think a few of you that have been here, when we first seen this setup, we started talking about it, had a push. But once it came down here and created this, we seen this nice W reversal that formed, pushed it up, and now with this consolidation, if it pulls up here, it's got all the support it needs, snuck in an inverse head and shoulders right beneath us, and it went off to the races. I love when shit does stuff like this, I'm not going to lie. I bought more today when it had that drop today. I bought more. It wasn't a ton more, but I bought more. So, you are my friend, John, like it or not. That goes both ways, my friend. That goes both ways. Julie, I am just about to end this, I promise you. I promise you, you're here during the last 90 seconds, and I will be in there, my love. I promise you. So Casper, that's what I'm looking at, to come back up at least, even if we get rejected, to come back up to this descending resistance. And then in current times, we'd be going from somewhere about there. The technical move up could be up to 2.8 cents. So ultimately, that's what you'd be trying to break to if you could break 2.475 cents. And this one, I'm speaking particularly of a spot trading. Other than that, I got to get going, everybody. I do appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a blessing and an honor. One last thing to pay attention to is precious metals. Gold right now is off to a good start, up $10.66. I expect this week out of B2 Gold some good things to happen. As you guys know, I'm fully back in B2 Gold. Got my position back in with the rest of what I wanted right at the end of trading day at $2.93 because I had sold some at $3.15. I bought in at $2.53, sold some at $3 and, well, it was like $3.13. I took what I sold out, put that $2,000 back in, with additional shares by rebuying those $2,000 back in at $2.93. And now I've got $7,280 invested in B2 Gold. Just about 2,400 and some tokens. Or shares, I mean. This isn't crypto. So that's what we're looking at. And they have earnings. That's why I think it's important. They have earnings that should, it'll bring us into the end of July. So earnings are on Wednesday, July 31st. Period ending June of 2024. The estimate's 0.071. The estimate's 471.562 or 526 million. And the last news of note this week, Julie's birthday is next Sunday on July 28th. So if you guys want to send any personal gifts, if you would like me to buy anything in your name, on the next live, you can even send me a Cash App at Tom Jr. 222. And I will certainly buy her something in your name. Or you can send me a YouTube Super Chat. You can do it outside of the live chat. You can still send a gift through YouTube at any time. You just hit the $sign button on the comments. But her birthday is next Sunday, so make sure to wish her a happy birthday if you see her leading up into the week. Other than that, have a blessed evening and enjoy.